Energy, energy, energy. Where art thou? As you hear the whispers, the echoes, and the sound waves, frequency of energy flowing every beat. You could hear the amazement of its response. Oh, I'm right here. Can you now feel me all over within you and all around you? You see, we live in a universal dimension filled with electromagnetic waves, gifting us with the source of energy to carry on through our body and form. We are indeed made up of universal energy. Now, what does that really mean? You see, our body structure had to be formatted into form. But even before our own birth and incarnation, we were simply a force of invisible energy. Like everything around us in the earth, before everything has to take shape and form, our very nature elements, trees, rocks, the soil. But there's certain sources of energy like the sun, we just see it as pure source of energy because it comes forth as light rays. There's energy frequencies of just sounds that we used to hear, the vision of stuff we used to see. Everything is indeed energy. Now, as it relates to stored energy, what does that really mean? Oh, that stored energy might be that soreness you may feel every time you stretch. It may be that tingle that you feel in your gut when you are given expression of joy. It may just be that bliss you feel in your heart when you sing and you express love. It may be that tightness in your throat when you hold back from saying something that you truly want to say. It may be that density that you may feel in your head or certain parts of your bodies causing you to get aches. You see, indeed, because we live in a field of energy all around us, sometimes that energy gets stored up. Just imagine when you eat food, a lot of times we are taught that carbs in general, the food source of carbohydrates, starchy foods, let's say for example, potatoes, maybe something like that has a flour base, maybe breads. Those are usually stored up in our bodies because it has so much of a buildup of energy that it can stay there within your body so that when your body is in great need, it can be used to replenish you. And if it's too much for your body to handle, then be transferred into fats. Now, the question of stored energy becomes something very significant when we start seeing how that stored energy is being transferred into disease. Of course, energy starts with our simple thought forms about it. As I just expressed, if you have that denseness in your body causing you to have an ache and you start thinking about it and you say, wow, where did this ache come from? Why am I feeling it? Of course, that magnifies the stored energy within you. And if you don't cater to it, can actually become worse and end up causing you to become sick. So the question now begins, how do we transmute and release those stored energy? As I first expressed, it's simply by catering to the needs of your mental and emotional body before it can be transmuted out as diseases in your physical body. You see, those very thoughts, when you start having it, you have to have that in-depth relationship with all parts of us. How do you have those self-talk conversations with those old stored energy feelings that you have within? Let's say you have an ache, maybe in your back, you now have to think of this as something temporarily moving, in the field of the energy space within you. You now have to maybe use your senses and the imaginary world to tap in deeper into your consciousness. And now start expressing your feelings towards it, blending in the thoughts and the feelings of your mental and emotional body. You envision that part of your body that's causing that. You actually start engaging and talking with it. Oh my gosh, I feel so light. Wow, this area of my body is filled with magnificent love. Oh, be released from the depths of my back to the deepest parts of my soul. And you then start feeling that lightness within that area. You then start envisioning that area. Your blood is now flowing. Everything is now moving effortlessly within your body. You see, you're now engaging mentally and emotionally with your body. Now, of course, this will take great practice, but these are the steps that we now have to take when we're in a state of high consciousness to release all stored energy, not just waiting for it to build up into another great magnificent disease before we cater to it. Then, of course, you want to make sure your energetic field and auric field is clean and clean. And you go forth, you do those meditations, you cleanse your chakra system, and you just, on a day-to-day basis, see to it that your needs are met by moving and just releasing that stored energy. You could do those self-talk, you could sing, you could just envision it and see to it that the very stored energy, like I expressed earlier, you may be in a situation where you're engaging with somebody and maybe the expression towards you is one that you may not like, but maybe you're in a professional setting and you may not want to say what's really on your mind. Now you now have to tell yourself, it's okay, you cannot always say something that's, in a sense where you express yourself and it gets you in trouble, but you have to learn to transfer that own energy. And you have to tell yourself, if I don't say something, that's gonna build up in my throat area, and maybe it's like that stored energy. Because I don't express myself, that's gonna eventually cause diseases in the throat area. You see, it's those little things. So you have to find means and ways. If you truly feel a certain way, maybe find a nice way to say it. If somebody, perhaps stepped on your feet and they didn't even say sorry, and you may want to swear at them or the first bad thought that comes to your mind, but you may now have to say politely, maybe you didn't realize you stepped on my toes, but you just stepped on my toes, and that really hurt. Now, I just want to say to you that it would be okay if you can just say excuse me the next time. Now that is simply engaging and releasing that stored energy because you didn't like the way the person responded in that setting. Now it's up to that person to engage with you in a certain way, but simply by just giving off that exchange or expressing yourself in different situations that you don't like, you're releasing that buildup and that tension of that energy in your body. So there you go. There's so many means and ways for us to cater to ourselves, but it's truly developing that in-depth relationship with our emotional and mental body so that the stored energy don't get stored in certain parts of our body, causing us to get sick with diseases. So truly embrace yourself and delve deeper within you to truly see how you can practice, and work on yourself daily to release that stored energy within you. So much love, so much harmony, peace, and bliss. I bid to each and every one of you as you continue to work on yourselves daily in just fully releasing all of the negative and bad stored energy within you in the energetic field to co-create a most healthy and beautiful